Hello there, I'm Azaria Tagaya. You're watching Nightline. Here are the top stories. 10.8 million Malaysians registered for PADU. And Israeli with guns, investigation into motives still necessary, says IGP. Good morning. Bukit Aman is aware of reports in Israeli media outlets which claimed the Israeli man that was detained recently had come to Malaysia to assassinate a leader of a rival crime family. However, according to authorities, such facts could not be easily accepted in the course of the investigation until they could be proven. Police are also not discounting the fact that the reports could have been generated as a form of propaganda, aiming to divert attention from the actual reason behind the suspect entering the country. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein, when contacted, said the Criminal Investigation Department's probe is exploring all angles and elements that could be connected to the suspect's presence in the country. He said police are still investigating the real motive on why the suspect entered the country and obtained 6 pistols with 200 bullets. Police are also considering other factors, including the Palestine-Israel conflict. Razaruddin said the police were also checking the suspect's movements and the individuals he came into contact with prior to his arrest, aside from getting more information and background on the suspect through intelligence gathering. The IGP added that the police need to be given space to complete its investigation before he could share more information with the public. He also stressed that the PDRM always remains vigilant in ensuring the safety and security of the country and its people. Meanwhile, the Israeli suspect has been placed under protective custody by the police. This is to prevent anything untoward happening to the suspect. According to a source, the moment he was arrested on March 27th, the suspect knew that any plan or mission that he had ultimately failed. As such, there is now a risk that the suspect might try to harm or kill himself while in custody. The source added that the suspect could also face reprisal from his own authorities for failing in his mission and allowing himself to be apprehended. The suspect is currently being placed under the custody of KL police, but the location cannot be revealed for security reasons. Unlike other prisoners, the suspect is deemed high risk and there is an officer and other personnel monitoring him around the clock. It was learnt that this will be apparent when the suspect is brought to court for either an extension of the remand application or for mention of his case. As the Central Database Hub or PADU system registration closed at midnight, the number of individuals updating their information as of noon on Sunday had increased to 10.8 million. Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said that the number was equivalent to 48.3% of the total number of 21.96 million Malaysians aged 18 and above. Aside from online registration, as many as 1,902 physical registration counters nationwide were open until 5 p.m. on Sunday for government, agencies and community-level programs.
Sehingga 11.59 malam tadi kita telah mencapai satu angka yang agak begitu membanggakan, iaitu sebanyak 10.61 juta rakyat negara kita yang telah pun mengambil sini maklumat-maklumat mereka di sistem pangkalan utama PADU itu, iaitu bersamaan dengan 48.3% daripada sejumlah 21.96 juta rakyat negara kita yang berumur 18 tahun ke atas.
Based on reports, Muhammad Uzair said most of the physical counters received an influx of people who wanted to register for PADU, and this shows that the people are accepting the initiative of the PADU system. Currently, among the states with the highest number of PADU registrations and updates are Perlis, Kelantan, Terengganu and Negeri Sembilan, which have exceeded the 50% target. He added that since the PADU system was launched on January 2nd, the system has continued to function without interruption or downtime despite high traffic volume. Commenting further, Muhammad Uzair said the data stored in the PADU system will make it easier for the Department of Statistics Malaysia to carry out analysis and census activities to facilitate the distribution of government aid, in addition to helping the government to introduce policies which suits the needs of the people. The alleged owner of the suitcase that held over 500,000 ringgit has presented himself to the police. Authorities, however, said there are still several more details that need to be addressed pertaining to the matter, including obtaining additional statements and proof of ownership. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan said the man appeared at the Damansara police station at about 5 p.m. on Saturday. The company director claimed that during the incident at a shopping mall in Damansara, he did not realise that the suitcase had not been put into his vehicle. According to the alleged owner, the money was originally from a friend who was paying back funds after borrowing it more than a year ago for investment purposes.
Dia pergi ke apartmen kawan dia kat situ dan beg tu dia ambil daripada kawan dia yang dia simpan tahun lepas kepada kawan dia. Jadi pada hari tersebut awal pagi bila dia nak keluar daripada apartmen tu dengan beg itu, dia perasan dia letak dalam kereta tu, kereta yang dia bawa. Dan dia tinggal apabila dia sampai rumah dia tinggal dalam kenderaan tersebut, beg tu tak bawa keluar. Tapi selepas sehari baru dia perasan bila dia semak beg tu tak dalam kereta tu.
He added that the man failed to produce any proof of ownership. Hussein said that more statements were needed, including on how he obtained the cash in the first place. On March 20th, the suitcase filled with cash was found by a security guard at a shopping mall car park in Damansara. A day later, a company director had come forward to claim the suitcase and a report had been lodged in Shah Alam. However, the company director failed to show up at the Damansara police station when summoned. Courier and delivery company Ninja Van Malaysia is conducting its own rigorous internal investigation following reports of robberies targeting safe boxes within the company's premises by a group known as the Ninja Van Gang. The company said the matter is also under investigation by the police and that it would fully cooperate with the authorities to ensure a swift resolution. In a statement, Ninja Van stated that the actions of the suspects are in no way associated with Ninja Van or its employees. As such, it said the company is conducting its own rigorous internal investigation to ascertain the facts and implement measures to prevent any potential occurrences. On Saturday, Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan said the 5 armed robbery suspects killed in a shootout with the police at Putra Heights, Selangor the night before had robbed a premises belonging to Ninja Van, targeting its safe boxes. He said it was believed that the gang extended further than the 5 members who were gunned down, and the suspects could have obtained information from insiders in the respective premises that they robbed. Investigations found that the gang had committed 50 robbery cases in Selangor and Kuala Lumpur for the past 2 years. They targeted factories, offices and houses, and in some cases had violently assaulted their victims. Now, you may call it junk, but to William Kung, waste material, particularly metal, holds artistic potential. The founder of the Ghetto Playground has made it his mission to transform waste material into breathtaking sculptures, some even larger than life. FMT's Dinesh Kumar Maganathan and Tun Kit Yi spoke to Kung recently about his unique works of art.
In an unassuming workshop in Klang, William Kung holds a blowtorch as he works intently on his next sculpture. What sets his artworks apart is that he uses waste metal, or what others would call junk, to make them.
I use a lot of waste materials, mainly metal. Most of it are metal waste, and make them into public art installations as well as artworks and small sculptures.
The 38-year-old considers his workshop his studio, fondly naming it the Ghetto Playground.
The purpose for this studio mainly is it's not for public, but it's for the creatives out there who wants to experience metal working or the types of tools or the skills of trade that we have over here, right?
Looking at the shelves holding tools and miniatures of sculptures he has worked on, it's evident Kung has a deep passion for what he does. For example, this bright red hornbill is a smaller model of a giant oriental pied hornbill sculpture currently on display at Johor Bahru's Puteri Harbour. It was one of the many projects he worked on when he was with the Biji Initiative, a social enterprise that advocates for sustainability and raises awareness on endangered animals. Kung shares that growing up, his family hardly threw things away and would reuse and recycle a lot of the items. That's why it has never bothered him to reuse materials or get his hands dirty fixing things. Nowadays, he channels his creativity and DIY prowess into his sculptures as well as commissioned work, using as much waste materials as he can in the process, be it scrap metal or discarded car parts.
I wouldn't say I champion sustainability. I do not, right? I make artworks that, and if my artwork inspire other people to be more sustainable, then we should celebrate them and not me.
Dinesh Kumar Maganathan and Tun Kit Yee, FMT Lifestyle for Nightline.
Still to come, 7 dead after car bomb tears through market in Syria. News from the foreign front when we return.
Dukun hitam manis dengan cahaya bintang.
Nabi kata madu adalah ubat paling mujarab. Kalau kita tak ambil, siapa yang nak berubat?
Jika di dunia ini tidak ada lagi lebah pupus sepenuhnya, manusia hanya mampu hidup tidak lebih daripada 4 tahun.
Semua ni dia boleh belajar dan boleh mengajar. Manusia petah lagi.
Kalau kita dapat hasilkan budak yang suka untuk mengaji dan satu orang yang boleh ajar balik ngaji di sini, saya rasa tu dah berbaloi lah.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kalau sabit mata madu, siapa tolak dalam tali air? Jatuh dalam tali air. Hatu, saya cakap.
3 beradik terbabit tidak pulang ke rumah di Jalan Datuk Kumbar selepas keluar ke kampung gelam Jumaat malam.
Tidak. Kak Syah tak akan maaf dia. Sampailah Kak Syah mati ke.
Jangan cakap tipu, dosa.
Integriti pengawal keselamatan dipersoal.
Korang buat security, korang buat apa ni? Ais pun hisap. Berapa tahun dah kau berjabat?
4 tahun dah.
Rekod jenayah lampau, punca amanah diragui.
Sebelum ni ada kes narkotik. Bukan rezeki abang untuk bekerja sebagai persahabatan.
Itu dulu takkan sekarang pun tak padam-padam.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
On to the foreign front now. Israeli strikes pounded Gaza again on Sunday as more than 400 Palestinians have lost their lives during the regime's raid on Gaza's few hospitals, where the siege has entered its 13th day. According to Gaza's government media office, the Zionist regime committed a new massacre by bombing the tents of journalists and displaced people inside the walls of Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital. It was reported that the airstrike hit several tents inside Shuhada Al-Aqsa Hospital, killing 4 people and wounding several, including some journalists. Journalists who were rushed to the hospital said they were hit without prior warning while preparing to go out and cover the news. Fighting in the region has continued despite a UN Security Council resolution last week calling for an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and the release of all hostages. As of Sunday, at least 32,782 Palestinians have been killed and 75,298 wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. Meanwhile, talks aimed at brokering a truce between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip resumed in Cairo, Egypt on Sunday, days after the United Nations Security Council issued its first demand for a ceasefire in the war on Gaza. Hamas, however, were reportedly not present as it waited to hear from mediators on whether a new Israeli offer was on the table. Egypt, Qatar and the United States have mediated previous rounds of negotiations, but a workable agreement has remained elusive. The mediators had hoped to secure a ceasefire before the start of Ramadan, but progress stalled and the Muslim holy month is more than half over. Over in Syria, at least 7 people have been killed and dozens others injured after a car bomb went off in a busy marketplace in the city of Azaz in the northern Aleppo province. The blast occurred late on Saturday as residents were shopping after breaking their fast as part of activities in the ongoing month of Ramadan. According to Syria's civil defense forces, 2 children were among the dead and at least 30 were wounded as the blast tore through the packed market, with some seriously injured transferred to local hospitals. It is still unclear who carried out the attack in the town, which is run by pro-Turkish militias fighting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Azaz, located close to the Turkish border, is held by Syrian rebel groups backed by Turkey and opposed to al-Assad. It is home to the Syrian interim government, which claims to be the legitimate authority in the troubled country. Turkey began voting on Sunday in municipal elections focused on President Tayyip Erdogan's bid to reclaim control of Istanbul from rival Ekrem İmamoğlu, who aims to reassert the opposition as a political force after bitter election defeats last year. Istanbul Mayor İmamoğlu dealt Erdogan and his AK party the biggest electoral blow of 2 decades in power with his win in the 2019 vote. The president, however, struck back in 2023 by securing re-election and a parliament majority with his nationalist allies. Sunday's results could now reinforce Erdogan's control of Turkey or signal change in the major emerging economy's divided political landscape. As an İmamoğlu win in the meantime is seen fueling expectations of him becoming a future national leader. Polling stations opened at 7 a.m. local time in eastern Turkey and elsewhere at 8 a.m. with more than 61 million people registered to vote. Voting ends at 5 p.m. and initial results are expected by 10 p.m. U.S. telecommunications company AT&T on Saturday said the personal information, including social security numbers from about 73 million customers, was leaked on the dark web earlier this month. According to AT&T, preliminary analysis of the leak indicates the data set appears to be from 2019 or earlier, impacting about 7.6 million current and 65.4 million former account holders. The data set includes personal information such as social security numbers, among other information. However, AT&T said there is no evidence of unauthorized access to its systems and the leak is yet to have a material impact on the company's operations. The company has reset millions of customer account passwords after the leak and assured it will communicate proactively with those impacted by the leak and offer credit where applicable.
Will not back up on this.
Von einem Friedensprojekt. Und sie tun viel, aber genau das Falsche. Ihre Rüstung durch die Manöver.
Stattdessen müsste man diplomatisch.
Roy King falls short to claim Spain Masters title. Sports after this breather.
Jangan cakap tipu, dosa.
Integriti pengawal keselamatan dipersoal.
Suruh buat security, korang buat apa ni? Ais pun hisap. Berapa tahun dah kau berjabat? 4 tahun dah.
Rekod jenayah lampau, punca amanah diragui.
Sebelum ni ada kes narkotik. Bukan rezeki abang untuk bekerja sebagai persahabatan.
Itu dulu, takkan sekarang pun tak padam-padam.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kalau sabit mata menuju, siapa tolak dalam tali air? Jatuh dalam tali air. Hatu, saya cakap.
3 beradik terbabit tidak pulang ke rumah di Jalan Datuk Kumbar selepas keluar ke kampung gelam Jumaat malam.
Tidak. Kak Syah tak akan maaf dia. Sampailah Kak Syah mati ke.
Turun hitam manis dengan cahaya bintang.
Nabi kata madu adalah ubat paling mujarab. Kalau kata kita tak ambil, siapa yang nak berubat?
Jika di dunia ini tidak ada lagi lebah pupus sepenuhnya, manusia hanya mampu hidup tidak lebih daripada 4 tahun.
Semut ni dia boleh belajar dan boleh mengajar. Manusia petah lagi.
Kalau kita dapat hasilkan budak yang suka untuk mengaji dan satu orang yang boleh ajar balik ngaji dekat sini, saya rasa tu dah berbaloi lah.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
We begin sports with badminton and the 2024 Spain Masters. One Arif, one Junaidi and Roy King's dreams to clinch their maiden World Tour title were dashed as they lost against Sabar Karyaman Gutama, Mohreza Pahlavi of Indonesia in the finals on Sunday night. Despite losing the first set 18-21, the national men's doubles pair fought back to claim the second set 21-17. However, the youngsters could not break the world number 35 pair's strong resilience in the rubber set as the duo lost 19-21 against them. With the result, Arif and Roy King's dream of clinching their second title were dashed following their first triumph at the 2023 Nantes International Challenge. Tennis now, the 2024 Miami Open. American Danielle Collins overcame fourth seed Elena Rybakina in straight sets to claim her first ever WTA 1000 title in her farewell season on Sunday. The 30-year-old, who announced her retirement at the end of the season, closed off one of the best performances of her career by defeating the Kazakhstani 7-5, 6-3. Collins is the lowest-ranked woman ever to win the tournament, clinching her best win in a 2-hour triumph. The victory also marks her third career title and her first since 2021. The American is now projected to skyrocket to world number 22 in Monday's updated rankings. On to football. The German Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen scored late goals to secure a 2-1 comeback victory over Hoffenheim on Saturday, bringing them closer to clinching the league title. Hoffenheim's Maximilian Bayer stunned the home team by scoring in the 33rd minute after executing a 1-2 with Wout Weghorst. The hosts piled on the pressure after the break and found the equaliser 2 minutes from time through Robert Andrich. Patrick Schick then volleyed home in stoppage time to complete the comeback, securing a remarkable 2-1 victory for Leverkusen. With the win, Leverkusen remained unbeaten in 39 matches across all competitions this season and are now on 73 points, 13 ahead of second-placed Bayern Munich. In another match, Bayern Munich's Bundesliga title hopes were dashed after suffering a 2-0 defeat at home to Borussia Dortmund in their Der Klassiker on Sunday. The hosts initially dominated the opening minutes against Dortmund but fell behind when Karim Adeyemi scored with the visitors' first chance in the 10th minute. Julian Reisen then sealed it 2-0 in the 83rd minute when he fired a powerful low-drive shot in the bottom corner. The Bavarians came close through Kane, who saw a header sail narrowly wide and another shot stopped by Mats Hummels. Bayern Munich, the 11-time defending champions, now find themselves 13 points behind Leverkusen with 7 games remaining. Cops on the hunt for trio offering illegal loans at Ramadan Bazaar. The details when Nightline returns.
Kalau sabit mata menuju, siapa tolak dalam tali air? Jatuh dalam tali air. Hatu, saya cakap.
3 beradik terbabit tidak pulang ke rumah di Jalan Datuk Kumbar selepas keluar ke kampung gelam Jumaat malam.
Tidak. Kak Syah tak akan maaf dia. Sampailah Kak Syah mati ke.
Awak tahu tak apa yang lagi manis daripada awak? Hah? Buah kurma? Bukan, salah tu. Jawapannya adalah tonton sebab semua drama yang sweet-sweet ada dekat situ. Cari je Tonton app dekat Google Play ataupun App Store, download lepas tu sign up. Masukkan nombor phone, email dengan password, lepas tu tunggu TAC. Alah, sekejap je, bukan lama pun. Lepas tu, korang bolehlah layan semua favourite korang dekat Tonton.
Turun hitam manis dengan cahaya bintang.
Nabi kata madu adalah ubat paling mujarab. Kalau kata kita tak ambil, siapa yang nak berubat?
Jika di dunia ini tidak ada lagi lebah pupus sepenuhnya, manusia hanya mampu hidup tidak lebih daripada 4 tahun.
Semut ni dia boleh belajar dan boleh mengajar. Manusia petah lagi.
Kalau kita dapat hasilkan budak yang suka untuk mengaji dan satu orang yang boleh ajar balik ngaji dekat sini, saya rasa tu dah berbaloi lah.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Nightline continues. A weekend outing for a family of 5 turned tragic when a 10-year-old boy died while his younger sister and mother are still missing, believed to have drowned, in Serdang, Selangor on Sunday. It was learnt that the boy and his 2 other siblings, aged between 4 and 10, as well as his parents, all Indonesian citizens, were fishing at a monsoon drain in Kota Perdana Sri Kembangan when the incident occurred. Serdang Police Chief Assistant Commissioner A.A. Anbalagan said the family was suddenly swept away by the strong current from the monsoon drain due to rain at around 5 p.m. The 40-year-old husband, who managed to get to safety, alerted authorities about the incident, and a search and rescue operation was subsequently launched. At about 5:30 p.m, one of the children, a 9-year-old boy, was found safe by members of the public who joined the search operation. Members of the water rescue team then managed to locate the body of the 10-year-old boy at 7:01 p.m, about 1 kilometre from where the family was last seen. The victim's body was then taken to Serdang Hospital for post-mortem. The search operation to locate the victim's 4-year-old sister and his 38-year-old mother, however, was temporarily suspended on Sunday night due to unfavourable conditions.
Jadi kita akan sambung usaha-usaha menyelamat pada seawal jam 7 pagi esok dan kita harap kita dapat menjumpai mereka dalam keadaan selamat.
An elderly woman and her granddaughter were killed after the multi-purpose vehicle MPV they were travelling in crashed into a highway barrier in Dungun, Terengganu on Sunday. The incident occurred on the East Coast Highway 2 in the Bukit Besi area at 1:45 p.m. Dungun Police Chief Superintendent Maizura Abdul Kadir said the deceased victims were identified as 86-year-old Kalsum Abdullah and 20-year-old Fatin Zulaila Huda Zulkifli, both of whom were killed at the scene. Fatin's mother, 51-year-old Hayati Muda, was seriously hurt, while her father, 57-year-old Zulkifli Ismail, and her brother, 22-year-old Muhammad Zuladli Zulkifli, sustained minor injuries. It was understood that the MPV driven by Zulkifli went out of control after the vehicle hit a puddle before crashing into the safety barrier on the left side of the highway. The MPV then slammed into the metal divider in the middle of the highway, causing Kalsum, who was sitting in the rear passenger seat, to be ejected from the vehicle. The bodies of both deceased victims were sent to Dungun Hospital for post-mortem. The injured victims were also taken to the same hospital for treatment. Police are investigating the case under the Road Transport Act. Meanwhile, in Pahang, 2 men died when the lorry they were travelling in collided with a trailer in Selancar, Muazzam Shah on Sunday afternoon. The identity of the lorry driver and his attendant, who were killed on the spot in the 1:25 p.m. incident, has yet to be determined. The trailer driver also sustained injuries in the crash and was rushed to a hospital by members of the public before firefighters arrived at the scene. The firemen then used special rescue tools to extricate one of the deceased victims, who was pinned in the lorry. Both bodies were then handed over to the police for further action. The cause of the crash is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Police are tracking down 3 men who have been handing out business cards for illegal money lending and online gambling at a Ramadan Bazaar in Ipoh, Perak. The activity was detected after one of the traders at the Ipoh Stadium Bazaar had recorded a video of the trio, which has since gone viral. Perak Police Chief Datuk Sri Muhammad Yusri Hassan Basri said investigations revealed that the men had been carrying out the activity for the past 3 days. He said the police have not received a report on the incident as of yet, but stressed that necessary action will be carried out. Earlier, the video had been widely shared after being uploaded to Facebook on Saturday. The 61-second recording showed a man distributing the business cards by passing them out to every stall at the Ipoh Stadium Ramadan Bazaar. According to Muhammad Yusri, the police had interviewed the uploader regarding the incident and have obtained details of the occurrence, adding that efforts to track down the suspected individuals are underway. Comes to a close, let's take a look as the call for prayer echoed through the historic Umayyad Mosque in Aleppo for the first time since 2012 when Syrian governmental forces retook control of eastern and old Aleppo. This significant event marked a symbolic return to normalcy for the city's residents who have endured years of conflict and destruction. I am Azaria Tagaya, thanks for watching, and to our Muslim viewers, selamat bersahur.